Hi friends, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. My name is Rachel, and today we are going to be talking about some of my anticipated releases for the second half of 2025. A few weeks ago, I was thinking about, okay, what books are coming out for the rest of the year? There are a few that really stick out to me, but I know that there are so many. I feel like every day when I get onto Instagram, I am seeing another author announce a new release, and I decided to compile a list, and I have quite a few books that I'm really looking forward to that are coming out in the second half of 2025. So I just wanted to sit down, hang out with y'all, and talk about those new releases. We are in for some amazing new releases, you guys, especially in the fantasy romance department. Most of these books are going to be fantasy romances. I think I have like one contemporary romance and then a couple just like fantasies, but there's just so much excitement coming for the rest of the year, and I just want to talk about them, put some of these books on your radar, and then of course, I am not including every single book that is coming out the rest of the year. So if there is particularly a fantasy romance that you are really looking forward to that I did not include, please leave that down in the comments below because I am sure I'm going to be missing some. So let's get straight to it. I'm going to go month by month and talk about my most anticipated releases for the second half of the year. First up is Arcana Academy by Elise Kova. This is a new series by this author. This is a dark academia fantasy romance series, and this is coming out July 22nd, so just in a few days now. I have had my eye on this book ever since I saw the announcement months ago. I think the cover is really cool. I love a fantasy dark academia. I feel like those two ideas meshed together are just so much fun. And while I have not read anything by Elise Kova, I feel like she has so many books, and I hear so many people talking about her books, really loving them. I know the Air Awakens series is a really popular one by her. I also know that she wrote that series that has the beautiful covers. The first one is like Deal with an Elf King or something like that. But I've always had Elise Kova's books on my mind. I've always had them on my TBR, but I've never picked one up. But I decided Arcana Academy is going to be my first one. I am so looking forward to this. Then on July 29th, we have Wrath of the Dragons by Olivia Rose Darling. I am so excited for this book. This is the sequel to Fear the Flames, which is a book that I read when it was indie published. It has since been picked up by a traditional publisher. So the traditional release of Fear the Flames came out, and now Wrath of the Dragons, the sequel, is on its way and coming to us very soon. I'm really looking forward to the sequel. I love these characters so much. Elwyn and Caden are just everything to me. After the ending of Fear the Flames, I feel like this book is, I don't even know what their relationship is going to be like. I don't know how things are going to pan out, but I'm really looking forward to seeing them again, seeing their friends. The found family in the series is wonderful, and I do believe that we will have even more dragons in this book, which I'm really looking forward to. If you don't know what Fear the Flames is about, it is an adult fantasy romance. I would say the romance trope is reluctant allies to lovers. Basically, our main character Elwyn, when she was born, she was bonded to 5 dragons, and her father, who is a king of a kingdom, was very threatened by that, and so he locked her away and basically did not allow her to be around her dragons. After a few years of being imprisoned, Elwyn was able to escape. She ran off and she secretly started her own kingdom. Now that she is an adult, she decides she wants to get her dragons back. She wants to take a stand against her father, and she does this with the help of Commander Caden Velis, who is the commander of another kingdom who definitely has a score to settle with Elwyn's father's kingdom. So the two of them, they decide to team up. They have common interests. They're going to go and try to get Elwyn's dragons and also try to take down her father. So it's a really fun setup in the first book, and I just feel like book 2 is going to be so good. Also coming out on July 29th is Silver Cloak by L.K. Stephen. This is a book that I don't know too much about, but what I've heard about it has me very intrigued. So there are going to be some books on this list that I know like basically everything about, and then there's going to be some that I'm like, this sounds good, I want to read it, and I'm going to tell you guys the little that I know about it. This is one of those books. So Silver Cloak, this is an adult fantasy. I believe it is a fantasy romance. I'm like 99% sure that it is. I know that there is a romance subplot at least, but the thing that has me really intrigued about this book is the magic system. The magic system uses pleasure and pain. I just think that that's a really interesting concept. I feel like I've never read anything like that, and I have read one other book by this author. It was Our Infinite Fates by Laura Stevens. I believe that that is like her YA pen name, and then L.K. Stevens is her adult pen name. Our Infinite Fates, I thought the writing was really beautiful. It wasn't like one of my favorite books ever. I think I gave it a 3.5 star, but I liked it enough to definitely be intrigued, and I think even reading an adult book by this author is going to be even better for me. So with that magic system and just knowing that I have enjoyed enjoyed something by this author before, I am really looking forward to Silvercloak. On July 31st, Thorns and Fire by Helen Shore is coming out. So this is the sequel to Iron and Embers by Helen Shore, which is the first book in the Ashes of Thesmar series, which I even have more to say to introduce this book, is a spin-off of the Legends of Thesmar series. So yeah, that was a lot. Let's like backtrack that a little bit so that I can explain all of that, because I do think the context of this being a spin-off is important. So this is book 2 of a trilogy. This will actually be a completed trilogy this year, so I'll be talking about the final book in this series later in the video. But in this series, we are following Ren and what is our male main character's name? I know that they call him like Bear Slayer, but Torge the Bear Slayer. That is our guy. So Ren and Torge are our two main characters, and Ren is an alchemist and she ends up attending this alchemist academy, but there's a lot of mysterious things happening. She kind of starts to investigate it. Torge ends up going with her to this academy to be her bodyguard. Book 1 was Iron and Embers. I really, really enjoyed it. I'm super excited for book 2, and I definitely think you guys should pick it up as well, but I would definitely recommend that you read the Legends of Thesmar quartet first. That is Blood and Steel, Vows and Ruins, Fates and Furies, Sorrows and Storms? That sounds about right. The first book is Blood and Steel, and that's really all you need to know to get you into the series. But the author has said you don't have to read the Legends of Thesmar series first, and I think the author's official stance is the most important one. But just my opinion, just my 2 cents, I do think that you miss a lot of context for Ren and Torge's relationship if you have not read the first series, because they are important characters in the first series. You see when they meet, you see how their dynamic is, and you see why they are the way that they are in this new series, The Ashes of Thesmar. So I would definitely recommend, for the best reading experience, and I feel like to get the full picture, that you read the Legends of Thesmar series first, and then you can read The Ashes of Thesmar and be super excited about the sequel and the finale coming out later this year as well. So I'm really excited about this book. I'll definitely be picking it up shortly after it comes out, and I hope I love it. All right, that is all I have for the month of July. It is like mid-July as I'm filming this, so a lot of really good books have already come out, but let's move on to August. So on August 5th, The Fallen and the Kiss of Dusk by Carissa Broadbent is coming out. This is the sequel to The Songbird and the Heart of Stone. This is part of the Crowns of Nyaxia series, which is 3 duologies all connected together. We're following different love interests in each duology, but there is kind of like an overarching plot. So we're on the second duology now. I am looking forward to this as a Carissa Broadbent fan, but I am a little hesitant going into it, and I'm definitely going to lower my expectations because The Songbird and the Heart of Stone was a disappointment for me. I did not love that book. I just am so in love with The Serpent and the Wings of Night and The Ashes and the Star-Cursed King, also the novella Six Scorched Roses. I really loved a lot of Carissa Broadbent's work, and I read a lot of those books when they were just indie published, so I feel like I just have such a vested interest in her as an author, and I want to see her shine, and she absolutely is. But I don't know, I was a little bit disappointed by The Songbird and the Heart of Stone. So as a follow-up, I'm not like dying to pick it up, but as a Carissa Broadbent fan, I'm definitely going to. I want to see the series through, particularly the entire Crowns of Nyaxia series. I am interested to see how everything ends up, and I am excited for the final duology that we're going to get. I kind of have an idea of who the characters are going to be, and I feel like it's going to be really, really good. I think I'm just not super crazy about the romance dynamic in this duology that we're in right now, and I don't know, I never really connected, I feel like, and there was just some kind of like a Carissa Broadbent pizzazz that was missing in The Songbird and the Heart of Stone, but maybe it'll be better in the sequel. Regardless, I am gonna read it because I am committed to finishing this series. Coming out on August 12th is Warrior Princess Assassin by Bridget Kemmerer. I don't actually know what this book is about, but I assume it's going to follow a warrior, a princess, and an assassin. I'm assuming it's going to be like triple POV of those different characters, and their storylines are going to converge, and that just sounds like a great time. Or maybe one character is a warrior, a princess, and an assassin. They're like a triple threat. I don't really know. But I'm just looking forward to this book. I think it sounds fun. I think it sounds exciting. I don't know too much about it. I like the title. I've read books by Bridget Kemmerer before that have gone pretty well, and I'm curious about it. So that is pretty much my investment in being excited about this book. And I'm really curious to read something new by this author. It's been a few years since I picked up anything by her. I want to say it's been like 2 or 3 years since I've read one of her books. So I just want to pick up something new from her. On August 26th, Calabasas by R.F. Kuang is coming out. I am so ready. I am so ready for this. Oh my god. I really loved everything I've read by R.F. Kuang, which is Babel and Yellowface. Both were 5 stars. Both were absolutely incredible books. This book just sounds so much fun. It is a little bit dark academia. We are following 2 characters who have to like go to hell to rescue their professor, which I think is just such a unique and interesting setup for a book. And I have seen R.F. Kuang say that this book is going to kind of give like Alice in Wonderland vibes. And I think that that's really interesting coming from R.F. Kuang. I feel like with Yellowface and Babel, her writing style was totally different. And it sounds like this is going to be really different as well. And that's why I really like R.F. Kuang. I just feel like she does something different all the time. And it just makes reading her books like so unpredictable and so much fun. So I'm really excited for Calabasas. This is one of my most anticipated reads of the entire year. All right, and then on August 28th, Dawn of Chaos and Fury by Melissa K. Rorick is coming out. That is the finale to the Legacy series. I am not okay. I am not okay that we are leaving this world, but at the same time, it is exciting because I know that Melissa K. Rorick is already working on the next series and she has like 9 series total planned in this universe. So I know I have like many books to come from her, but I love the Legacy series so much. I feel like I talk about it a lot, but it is a dark fantasy romance series. We have fae and witches and shifters and vampires, and it's a little bit kind of like an urban fantasy too. There's a lot of political scheming. There's a lot of really cool magic systems, and there's a lot of cool like big universe connections. It's a really good series, and I'm so curious how things are going to end up in this final book on all fronts. How are we gonna wrap up this plot line? The romance, I have many questions. The like potential for what this is going to mean for other series in the future, I also have lots of questions. I just think this is going to be so good. I have given every single book in the Legacy series a 5-star rating. This is truly a 6-star series to me. It is one of my all-time favorite series I've read ever, and I just know Melissa K. Rorick is going to do an excellent job with the finale, but I'm definitely really sad to be leaving these characters because I love them so much. Moving on to September. On September 2nd, Wild Reverence by Rebecca Ross is coming out. This is another book that I don't know too much about, but I am looking forward to it because I did enjoy Divine Rivals. I believe that this book is a prequel to Divine Rivals, I think like way back in time, so I think that'll be really cool and will give us a lot of context for how things are in Divine Rivals and why things are the way that they are. I just really enjoy Rebecca Ross's writing. I think that her writing is absolutely beautiful, so I think Wild Reverence is going to be great. On September 9th, we have the only contemporary romance book that at this point I'm excited for the rest of the year, and that is Wild Card by Elsie Silver. You guys, the trope of this book, I'm not okay. I'm not okay. It is ex-boyfriend's dad, as it should be. I love the ex-boyfriend's dad trope. I've only read it once, to be fair, and that was Birthday Girl by Penelope Douglas, which is an excellent book. I was genuinely so surprised at how much I loved that book, but it ended up being like one of my favorite contemporary romances I've ever read. I thought it was beautiful. I thought it was amazing. Penelope Douglas, absolutely chef's kiss. And I am so excited to see this trope again done by Elsie Silver. I think she is going to do it so well. I am really excited that she's doing something a little bit different. I do feel like, while I do love basically all of her books, they do have a lot of similar tropes and they do have a lot of similar setups. So I applaud her for doing something a little bit different. I think it's going to be just such a fun time and I cannot wait to read Wild Card. And then on September 23rd, we have Alchemized by Sen Lin Yu. I am really excited for this book. This is a Dramini fanfic rewritten. So it was originally called Manacled on AO3, and then the story got picked up and the author of course rewrote it, so it had different IP, and it's going to be a rewritten version of Manacled, traditionally published. So I think that is so cool. I am so excited. I have not read Manacled yet. I did end up downloading it though before it was removed from AO3. So as of this time right now, you can't go onto AO3 and read it unless you had downloaded it prior to it being removed. But I do have it and I am going to read it before Alchemized comes out, because I definitely want to know that fan fiction and read that because so many people love it and say it's absolutely amazing. So I just think it's going to be so good. I'm really excited. I feel like I see people talking about this all the time. I know we're all very much looking forward to it, and I really hope that it lives up to the hype. And then finally for September, on September 30th, we have Every Spiral of Fate by Tahara Mafi. Oh my god, if you have not picked up This Woven Kingdom, by Tahara Mafi. I'm gonna need you to do that. I'm gonna need you to do that personally for me. Please and thank you. This is such an incredible series. I feel like a lot of people like it, but I feel like not enough people are talking about it, okay? It is so, so good. If you want yearning, like true, pure yearning, you need to pick this up. If you want a beautifully rich world, you need to pick this up. If you want such fun, amazing side characters, Miss Huda, you will always be famous to me. I can't say enough good things about this series, and the romance is the best part. There is a love triangle in the series, and this is the only love triangle that I have ever jumped ship from one point of the triangle to another. I never do that, but Tahara Mafi just absolutely convinced me, and there are just some amazing, beautiful, wonderful scenes in this book. There is no spice. It is technically YA, but there doesn't need to be because the romance is still so tension-filled and so delicious and so wonderful, and I just think it's great. I just think it's such a wonderful series. I think there's gonna be 5 books total, so this might be the penultimate book, and I literally can't wait. I think that this cover is so cute. It's my favorite of all of them so far, and yeah, I just literally cannot wait to be back with these characters. And then on October 28th, we have The Wrath of the Fallen by Amber V. Nicole. This is going to be book 4 in the Gods and Monsters series. The first book is the Book of Azrael. This is a dark urban fantasy romance series. It is so much fun. It is so detailed, so wild. Every single book gets crazier and crazier. I am so impressed by the world building and the lore building in this series. It is truly so wild and so much fun. We have so many different characters, so many different POVs. I genuinely have no like prediction for how this series could even end, but I just love it so much, and I am actually doing a read along of the series with my patrons right now. We are reading a book a month in the series leading up to October, so if you wanted to join us, my Patreon is of course linked down below. We're going to be doing live shows once a month to talk about the book as well. But yeah, I'm just so excited for book 4. I'm really glad I'm rereading it, honestly, because there are just so many details that I want to refresh myself on before I pick up book 4. I think it's going to be crazy and wild, and the cliffhanger is going to be so devastating. All right, the final month that I have to talk about is November, and there are quite a few heavy hitters coming out in November. First of all is Silver and Smoke. This comes out on November 6th, and this is the finale to the Ashes of Thesmar trilogy. So Thorns and Fire comes out on July 22nd, and then this book is going to come out in November. It's crazy. We got the entire trilogy this year. I'll be very curious to see how I feel about that finale. Obviously, I haven't read book 2 yet, so I can't say too much about it, but finishing a series is always a good time, so I'm looking forward to finishing this trilogy in 2025. Next up on November 18th is Hollow by Caroline Peckham and Suzanne Valenti. This is a new series by the Twisted Sisters. I don't know how they do it. They write so many books, and they're all so long. When I saw this released, I was like, okay, is this like maybe a novella, maybe it's an alternate cover for one of their books that are already out, like what is this? And then I start reading the caption and I'm like, oh my god, this is a brand new fantasy romance series by these authors. I am so hyped. First of all, the cover is insane. It's one of my favorite covers of the entire year. I think it is so beautiful, and while I don't know much about it, I do know that there is like a scary dark forest that our main character has to go into, and like bad things happen when you go in the forest. That is my jam. I am so excited for it. And there's Fae, so I'm there, I'm excited. I don't really need to know anything else. I know that it is written by these authors, and I know that there is a scary forest with Fae. That is everything to me. So I'm really looking forward to this book. I don't really know what to expect, but I'm sure I'm going to like it. I have had pretty much all success with every single one of the books I've read by these authors. Also on November 18th, we have my most anticipated release for the entire year, and that is Brimstone by Callie Hart. This is the sequel to Quicksilver. I can't stop thinking about this. I'm so looking forward to it. I love Quicksilver so much. I think it is so worth the hype. It is one of my favorite fantasy romances I've ever read. It's a major 5-star read for me, and I just think Brimstone's going to be so good. From what I've seen from the synopsis of book 2, I feel like it's going to be really fun, and I'm just so looking forward to being in this world, to learning more about it, to being with our characters again. Kingfisher, I'm obsessed with Kingfisher, and I'm excited to be reunited with him. I am just really looking forward to this. I feel like Callie Hart did such an incredible job with Quicksilver and Brimstone. I'm gonna be at the bookstore 8 a.m. that day picking it up. And then on November 25th, we have Fallen Stars by Imani Iriu. This is the sequel to Heavenly Bodies. I am really looking forward to this. I did not read Fallen Stars when it was indie published, so I actually don't know what to expect with this next book, and I do think that the author maybe made some changes or edits to it, so I'm excited excited to go into this fresh sequel that we have from her. I really love Heavenly Bodies. It is a celestial fantasy romance, enemies to lovers. It's really, really good. The romance is beautiful. The world is really cool. The conflict is just so interesting, and I can't wait to see what happens in Fallen Stars. At the ending of Heavenly Bodies, there's just really shocking, really, really crazy turn of events, and I'm excited to see how our characters are going to kind of work through that. I really love this author's writing, so I think Fallen Stars is going to be so good. All right, and then the final book that I have to talk about does not have an official release date, but in like every single most anticipated releases video I've ever made, I usually include books that don't have like confirmed release dates. So this is our little like delusion corner, but I am putting it out there. Burn of the Everflame. I think this is coming out in 2025. The reason I think that is because I did see a clip of Penn Cole, the author. I think she was at like a book signing and people were asking questions, and someone asked something to the effect of like, can you confirm at all when Burn of the Everflame is coming out? And she did say this year, 2025, it will be coming out. Now, that could change. Things have changed before. It was supposed to come out last year and it didn't. But I'm gonna be hopeful, okay? I am an eternal optimist, and I'm thinking we are going to get this book in 2025. So I'm really, really hopeful that we do. The Kindred Scars Saga is one of my favorite fantasy romance series I've ever read, and we need that finale. I need to know how things end. I need to know how everyone ends up, and I think it's gonna be really great. So I am hopeful that we will be getting Burn of the Everflame by the end of 2025. All right, friends, so that is it for my most anticipated releases for the second half of 2025. What are you excited for? Let me know. And if I missed any like major fantasy romance releases, please let me know. If you made it to this point in the video and you wanted to let me know, go ahead and leave the fairy emoji. Please make sure that you're following me on all of my social media. They are all linked down below: my Instagram, my TikTok, my Goodreads, and also my Patreon. I really appreciate that you watched this video. I hope that you're having a fantastic day. I love you all so much, and I will catch you guys in the next one.